and tells you his cards before you decide to move. It doesn't
game session day.
You're going to win if, for
Just
example,
play
an ace 10 straight
1 hour of
but it does
pointless
often mean that the incentive to secure
gaming.
value for money will often be balanced against the incentive to keep your job by following the rule book as closely as possible. It's also a sector where, as we discussed, you might only have a few, or in extreme cases, only one seller for a particular piece of equipment or system. And if you do find yourself in that position, there's a chance it won't change quickly, because this is also a sector where you're often dealing with very significant barriers to entry, which means once a competitor is lost, it can be hard to build up a new one to replace them. If your local cafe owner decides to go mad with power and start charging $60 for avocado on toast or something, well, sure, they're very welcome to do it. But it's not going to be long before someone leases a nearby building and starts offering the same product for a much more reasonable $45 a serve. But if you have just one prime aerospace contractor, for example, and they're just not delivering the results,
fun.
Probably not as simple.
Honestly, fighting is fun.
Hiring a couple of people and 6 months later having a functional
video games are fun.
fighter jet to enter into the market. Governments might have especially strong incentives to protect a national provider or maintain competition.
It's worthless to someone like you. Take my advice. You'd be better off forgetting about it.
Now, of course, there will be plenty of opportunities even for small business working on more simple products or in the supply chain for larger ones. But even then, there's still might be unique barriers to entry. A firm that wants to deal in defense, for example, might have to comply with certain security requirements, get its staff cleared, apply upgrades to security computer systems, and get across a range of policies and procedures that wouldn't have to deal with if it remained purely.
Anyways, see you then.
If you start dealing with hazardous or energetic materials where you didn't before, well, then you're going to have to comply with a raft of additional safety requirements, which again does make a reassuring degree of sense. You probably don't want to high explosive factory.
Chinatown Day. Yeah. Oh, Chinatown. Alright. Do I have to take the subway to get there? So, like, actual fighting, like, I don't condone, like, needless violence. You should be able to protect yourself, you should be able to spar, but fighting is fun. I think it's something that everybody should try. You know, join your local dojo, get humbled. Okay, so I probably have to go to the subway. So first of all, I think every kid should fight, like do martial arts. You know, most dojos are kind of trash. There's no like regulation or anything. Where am I going? Anyways, so I think kids, especially young boys, should do martial arts for a couple of reasons. One, confidence. Like if you know that you can defend yourself, you are allowed a lot of options. You don't have to be afraid of a lot of things. You're like, okay, push, come to shove, I know I can win. I know I can defend myself. Number two is like the mental. It's important to get humbled. You think you're good, and like if you have a good sensei, they will put you in your place. Whenever you get too cocky, they'll match your skill, but be a little bit better. And you go, oh, I thought I was hot shit. But I'm not. You know, like there's always someone better. And then also, you kind of learn that anybody is dangerous. you see that old dude, he's, 120 pounds, soaking wet, but that's Sensei Romer. They're like, he will put you in a world of hurt. So you kind of like learn a little bit of respect. I also think young boys, especially, need a second role model. Oops, gone backwards. Never throw right. So anyways, you learn like respect, you learn to be humble, you learn your body, what it can do, and that like you carry that on you. You carry it with your walk. You got the BDE, you got that big dick energy, you kind of just have this like confidence, but it's earned confidence. Like, you know that you can only do so much, but you realize like you can do a lot. So yeah, there's the mental, there's the physical, learning your body, learning like respect, and you have another role model, like you have a second role model. Like I said, I think boys need two like role models in their life. Two male role models. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got humbled. Plus, it's just really fun. It's really fun to fight. Like, there's kind of nothing quite like it. When you get punched in the face or kicked in the gut, and you go, oh, all right, I'm in this. Like, we're doing stuff. And then, like, when you hit someone, and you're like, oh, like, I can hurt people. Again, I don't condone hurting people, unless it's, mutually, like, agreed upon. But it's part of life, and it's, like, the most pure. It's so pure. Fighting is, like, you, me, we're in this ring, and it's, you either win or you lose. You're gonna get hit, you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get knocked down, and you're gonna have to get up. Or vice versa. You go, oh, jeez, I should probably lower my skill level, lower my output, because I'm just that much better than this person. And you learn, like, restraint. Like, you gotta learn restraint. And martial arts teaches that too. And then, like, meditation. Generally, I think everybody should start with a Japanese martial art. Or maybe, like an Asian martial art, where you meditate, you pay your respect to the owner, or the creator. Zanshi wo taramas, shizure shimasu. Ishito, osh. Like, get that feeling, of, like, respect. I'm gonna do my best. I don't want to embarrass you with your martial art type of thing. Yeah. So, anyways, long story short, I think martial arts, every boy, at least boys, it has a bunch of benefits for girls too, but but boys especially, get in there, learn what your body can do, quiet your mind, know what it's like to get punched, to punch someone, to get kicked, to kick someone, to get thrown or wrestling. You know, like, if you're looking for like the most like martial part of art, I prefer the art part of martial arts. I think it's beautiful. It's a dance. It's a dance. You're dancing with that person. You move in and out and in and out, and you learn range. And but if you're looking for the martial part, you probably want to do like Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, and then a grapple. So you want to boxing and wrestling, kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. You know, they all have things to offer you. Like even Aikido. Like Aikido, you're not going to use on the streets. Taekwondo, you're not going to use on the streets. But they teach you different things. You know, like Aikido is beautiful. Like it's like circular and using their bodies against them. It's too complicated and pretty. It's way more art than martial. Whereas, like, you know, people talk shit about Krav Maga, but if you want to learn how to defend yourself, you do Krav Maga. You do boxing. You do wrestling. But that's the martial part. And I like the art part. I like the mental. You step into the dojo with your left foot. You bow to the picture of the founder. You basically say, I apologize for being imperfect in your art, but I promise to try to perfect your art even more. You meditate. You got like what was it? Seizenryu, Kempo Jiu-Jitsu. The hardest part of that was the belt ceremony. You had to sit. What was the term? You had to sit Seizen. I don't know. You had to sit in a certain way forever. Like I can punch, I can kick, I can throw, I can wrestle, I can grapple. But sitting in a position of total respect and honestly submission, forever, while you do the ceremony. And you know, like, I'm not religious, but there's a place for ceremonies. Like I still go to churches and synagogues and temples and stuff because there's value in that community and that ritual. Like there's a value in it. So anyways, like the belt ceremony, my knees were killing me because I had to sit Seizen for like an hour before I got the next belt. And it was worth it though. Like there's also a pride. Like you feel when you do martial arts, you have a pride. You go, I made you proud. I am proud of myself. I made you proud of my progress. And there's always the next level. There's never an end. Like you could do 24/7. You're like no sleep from birth to death, and there's always a next level. There's always a goal that you can grab. Like sometimes it's out of reach, and then like when it's within reach, you're like, ooh, I can do that. I can do this. I thought that was impossible, but I can do that. Oh yeah, I'm playing a video game.
That's right.
I would say fighting video games are along that, are similar. You know, like, there's always something else. Completing missions. I don't care about emotes. Let's give you a gift. What would she like? Unagi. Zanshi. So we got Unagi. I think she'd like Unagi. Does it matter? Do you have to like relate the gift to the giftee? I don't know. Alright, one up. Luxury heat pack. Let's save that for somewhere cold. That'll be for Russia. Zangief. Anyways, you know, like, you get that belt. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Like, it's nice. And you feel pride. You feel like, and then actual fighting, so fucking fun. Your brain turns off. You get that flow state, and your body does what it does. Like, it's basically, at least for me, I don't know other people, but every time I wrestled, every time I stepped on a mat, every time I stepped in a ring, it basically was turn your brain off and let your body do what it does, what you trained your body to do. And then it, like, works. And then, like, the round is over, you're in the, you know, like, you're like, ooh, what happened? Oh, I need to do this. And, like, you kind of come back into your mind and go, okay, body, do this, don't do that. You go back out there, and, like, your training comes to life. Your body goes AI mode. And even if you lose, like, you're like, oh, I kind of feel invigorated. I feel like that is life. Life is in the ring more than it's outside of the ring. Like, you know, I'm not military. I know a lot of military people, but it's kind of the same thing where you get back to, like, civilian life. You go back out and you go to your job and you get a coffee and all that, and you're like, I just miss being in the ring. I miss being on the mats. Like, this doesn't compare to the mats. Like, I can smell all the mats. I can smell it. Alright, let's fight. Details.
Yeah.
But fighting games, I used to have, like, in-person fighting games. Get the sticks out, get your buddies together, talk some smack. You know, last one I had was pre-COVID, like right before COVID, I think. We played Fighters, Dragon Ball Fighters, and Soul Calibur 6. Like, I won the tournament. Like, when it comes down to, like, the tournament, I won both tournaments the last time. Although Owusu put up a fight. Like, when he picked, he changed Soul Calibur. Like, Fighters, I was so good at Fighters, like, nobody had a chance. And they hadn't played it, so, like, it wasn't quite fair. And I prefer that type of fighting game to, like, Street Fighter, or even Mortal Kombat. But he switched his character, and I was waiting for the timer, and I picked range. And that, the finals was the most boring fight, but I remember him going, oh shit. When I picked a ranged character, what was the Fencer in Soul Calibur? He picked a more of a like close range, and I always like rushdown characters. I like rushdown. You know, the last Mortal Kombat I did Jackie. You know, fighters. Who was it? Bardock was mid. My anchor was Ultimate, and I think my point was. My point was. What was it? I generally went with. Oh yeah. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like I like to rush down. I want to pound you in the face. But anyway, so like the last fight, he picked an anti-rushdown character because I was beating people with rushdown, and I picked a range character. And it was a boring fight because I just stayed out. I poked, like he couldn't get in. But anyways, it's not quite the same as actual fighting. Actually, you know, getting in a ring. But fighting games have a lot of the same, things. You got to download your opponent. You got to feel them out. You got to get that range. Range is super important. Honestly, that's when you are starting to learn how to fight, is if you know range. Like, that's what the jab is. Like, you jab, you know, like, ooh. First of all, they go, oh, I can get hit. But, like, if you can land a jab, you can land everything else. Like, you know, once your jab is landing, you get your range. Your footwork starts to set. Like, until I land a jab, my feet, my range, I don't know where I am, like, in relation to someone else. You know, same with wrestling. Like, until you get a hold of them, you ain't wrestling. Like, you're dancing. And then once you get a hold of a person, you go, okay. I think grappling is a lot harder. I think grappling is a lot harder than striking. What does this mean? I've dabbled here and there. You don't just show up in a week you can wrestle. Like, it takes years to get like functional at wrestling. And then you have to unlearn wrestling when you do jiu-jitsu, because you're like, your roll, you're on your back and you're like, oh, I've been wrestling so long, I can't be on my back. And you roll around and you're like, oh, I gave them my back. Whoops. Now I'm getting choked. But it's like there's like a functional strength. There's this these techniques. Like, I get why Olympic wrestling isn't popular. If you don't know what's going on, it's boring. If you know what's going on, it's super exciting. Part-time party time. Get that bread. it's fairly easy to learn how to punch. I think that's why in MMA there was that wrestling era. Like you can sprawl and brawl. Like you can learn how to punch as a wrestler. You might be like slow. Let's be honest. Usually, like wrestlers, grapplers, like that's my base. My base is grappling. Usually that means when you strike, you're like power, and like technique. It has to be a perfect 90-degree punch, and I'm gonna put my whole body behind it, and you knock people out like that. But so you can learn that pretty quick. But it wasn't until I trained in boxing that I learned, rest in peace, Romero. I learned it, you just gotta land. You can hit hard, but if you're hitting air, it doesn't matter. If you can't grapple, that's the other kind of thing. If you're a grappler, you go back to grappling. But if you're hitting hard, you have perfect technique, 90-degree lead hook, and you hit air, well, maybe you want to be a little faster, more accurate. Because landing, it doesn't matter how hard you hit. If you hit air, whatever. You can tell I just love martial arts.
You will, I hope.
I'm garbage at fighting games, like compared to like legit people. Like a lot of people. Let's see. Oh, I hate. My thumb's gonna hurt. This is why I want sticks, not a controller. Oh, that's the charge. Let's think. Favorite martial art? I think. Wing Chun. Wing Chun. Like I said before, I prefer art over martial. And Wing Chun is just beautiful. It's so gorgeous. And you feel really cool when you do it. Most important, most like useful martial art. Oh yeah, I'm going kind of back. If you have like a year to train how to defend yourself, do Krav Maga. It gets a lot of smack, but quite honestly, gross motor movements, like you kind of can't F up. So it's very gross, as in like big muscles, very simple, not like this fancy Wing Chun, Aikido. It's not fancy. You don't have to be perfect. If you just know how to throw a punch, know how to elbow, kick someone in the balls, you know, that's going to get you 90% of the way there. I take all that back. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most important is de-escalation. You know, when I worked at the psych hospital, you know, we'd get a Dr. Strong, and the most important skill is de-escalation. Talk someone down. Put your pride aside. They can insult you. You know, like if you're at a bar, like, oh, you spilled my drink or whatever. Buy him a drink. Apologize. Buy him a drink. That $6 or, you know, with inflation, I haven't been to a bar in a while. What is it, like $10 to avoid a fight is going to save you money, because, like, you know, actual street fight, nobody wins. People go to jail. You land that perfect punch, but you get you know, you break your you get the boxer's fracture. You break a hand, and police show up, and you get arrested. Or $10, and your pride is worth that every time. Psych hospital, same thing. They can insult you in such a way that you're like, ooh, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Like you hurt me emotionally. I'm gonna hurt you physically. But it's almost always worth de-escalating. I don't know why police don't do de-escalation every month. They should have to redo that over and over and over and over. You know, you give up. You give them options, and you make them, like, you give them options that you want. You're like, here's 3 things you can do. All of them are things that you want, but they get to choose. They get to choose which of them. So then they think, oh, I chose, I won, I got what I wanted. And then, without realizing that they got what they wanted out of the options that you wanted. Anyways, kinda don't like open world fighting games. I'm horrible at blocking. I gotta practice this. I'm in the corner. Ooh, you're an interesting fight. Okay. Speaking of Wing Chun. Oh, he's drunken style. Drunken style! Ooh, I love it. Drunken style's a thing? Ooh, that's totally gonna be my main. Whatever drunken style is. Best Jackie Chan movie ever was Drunken Master. Easy. One of the best martial arts films ever. Funny, you know, like, not a huge fan of Jackie Chan as a person, but funny martial arts, super talented. I generally like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hero as far as my martial arts movies. And then obviously the Indonesian, Ong Bak and The Raid 1 and 2 are probably my favorite martial arts movies as far as just martial arts. Like, it's so brutal. So brutal. But as far as like movies, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Hero, I mean, Hero, like, I can hear Johnny Chan, Donnie and Jet Li having that mental fight in their head. Like, that is a dream come true. I'm also horrible at anything with weapons. I did Eskrima, even in sports. Like, once you give me, like if I was going to do like tennis or whatever, like, I can't do that. Like, my mind ends at my fists. You give me a weapon, I don't know how to use it. I've tried. I mean, I know how to use a gun, but, gun, that's totally different than, nunchucks. I used to have a nunchaku. Used to have, like, nunchucks, I've done bow work. I was horrible at it. Just doesn't. I'm a tactile person. I have to feel what I'm doing. I felt when I was doing that Eskrima, I felt the hits, but I didn't feel when I hit. It's mainly because I never hit. I only got hit.
What is it?
Yes, please. Okay, down, up, to I should have paused there and looked at the stickers on the laptop, because those are telling us about her as a character. Not really. You're gonna whoop my ass. But hey, that's part of the process. That's most of the process, is getting your butt whooped.
Okay.
Alright. No! Don't hurt me! Oh, come on! Why is this not... Why are these blocks not working? I forgot in this game you can jump off the edge. Oh, come on! I'm blocking that shit. God damn. Okay, okay. Well, I know I can beat her. I was getting just a little antsy. Oh, mixed up. Yeah. Oh, I was blocking that. Oh, no, it was an overhit. Never mind. Get... Oh, God. Still don't know the controls very well. I still don't quite know my controls. Took a break from it. Oh, I was trying to get her back in the corner. Alright. Oh, shit. Ah. I'm really bad at the back throw. Alright. Get in the corner. Ah! Come on, back throw. Alright, game over. The character models on this are ridiculous. I love it. This game is so stupid and it embraces that.
Huh?
Hmm.
Yes. That being said.
Yeah. Next time I go shooting, I'll post. Like I have a really good cold shot. But the weird thing with guns for me is I'm left-eye dominant and I'm right-handed. So I have to like have both eyes open when I'm aiming.
Let's see.
Or like adjust. It's weird. Took me forever to realize that I was left eye dominant. But I got a good cold shot. I got good grouping. But it's hard to maintain. I get worse the more I shoot. Alright, I'm gonna take a smoke break. Ooh. My body hurts. watching this, and they wonder why Americans, I'm American, you're gonna tell, love our guns. There's a lot of reasons. Like, I'm pro Second Amendment, but I'm also pro regulation. Like, you should be able to drive your car and shoot a gun. Not at the same time, obviously. But, like, there needs to be more regulation with guns. It shouldn't be that easy to get a gun. And it's any regulation is going to be imperfect. You know, like, you have a knife. Well, is that a butter knife? Okay, butter knife's allowed. Anybody can get a butter knife because you got to spread butter. Okay, a steak knife. Okay, now that's a weapon. But you need to be able to cut your steak. Now, you extend the blade on a steak knife. At a certain point, it's a sword. Like, do we need swords? I don't know. So, same thing with the calibers and accessories and everything with a gun. So, like, you need to take classes on a gun. They should be free, because poor people need guns more than rich people. So that should be government subsidized. If you have been convicted of domestic violence, violence against animals, or any of that, no gun, never. You don't get a gun. You've been convicted of any violent crime, you shouldn't have a gun. If you're a parent and your gun is not in a safe, that should be a crime. Guns need to be in safes. You know, there's a lot of common sense regulations that we can have with guns. I hate the gun crowd. They're like, they're taking our guns. No one's taking your guns. They're just saying, yeah, maybe you need it in a safe. Maybe you need to take a gun safety class. You know, kind of like CC. I don't like that you have to go through the police to get a CC. But, you know, like, that kind of regulation. So, why I support guns? First of all, the police in this country are not there to help us. Like, half the time. I hate to say it, I'm not anti-police, not ACAB, most of the time, but they're not going to get to you in time. Like, if somebody's invading your home, and you call 911, especially if you're rural, you're out in the boonies, police aren't going to get there in time. And even if they get there, they might not help you. What did they do during Columbine? They sat outside and let kids get killed. They let a teacher bleed out. Because that's not, let's be honest, that's not their job. Their job is to enforce laws. Even the Supreme Court said it. They're not there to protect and serve. They're not there to kill the bad guy before he kills you. So, timing. The U.S. is a huge state, and most of it is outside. Um, most of it's the boonies. It's rural. Most people don't live in rural areas, but most of America is rural. So the police aren't going to get there in time. And then if you're in like dangerous neighborhoods in the city, the police won't go there. They straight up just won't go until there are bodies on the floor. So you need to be able to defend yourself, and a gun is the ultimate leveling of the playing field. I don't care if you're 5'2" and 90 pounds. If you have a gun, you're less of a target. There's also animals. I don't camp without my gun. I have to have my Glock if I'm camping. You know, a 9mm ain't gonna like stop a bear right away, but it's gonna make the bear think twice. Let me tell you that. So we want guns to protect ourselves because we are not being protected. We're a very individualistic society, which I don't like, but it is what it is. And you can't count on the police to help you. A lot of times, like, that bear is not going to wait for you to call 911. And then also, let's be real, like, the whole point of the Second Amendment, well-regulated militia, all that, is to stop government overreach. I think Americans take that way too far, but it's a legit concern. The government can only go so far if the average person has 2 guns. I don't care if they pull up in a tank, they have attack helicopters. I hear that argument. Did we win in Iraq? Did we win in Afghanistan? Against small arms? No. Like, if by some miracle somebody could figure out how to actually invade the U.S., they could get past the Rocky Mountains, they could get past the Mississippi River. They cannot hold that territory when there are 2 guns for every citizen. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a 30-06, a fucking 9mm handgun. That is a problem. So pro Second Amendment needs to be a lot more regulated, and unfortunately in America, the people with the most guns are kind of the worst people. They're militias out in Montana, they're neo-Nazis, all that. It sucks, but and the vast majority of gun deaths are like suicides and, you know, killing a family member or accidents. But I feel that's kind of the cost we have to pay for a potential future, for the individual need for violence. Let's be honest. Violence is an important part of life. You need to be able to protect yourself and your family. But put that gun in the fucking safe and don't let that kid know where the safe is. You know, if you're suicidal, give that gun up temporarily. Say, hey, Mom, Dad, can you watch my can you take care of my Glock
Hey!
for a moment? You know, anyways, looks like this play session, at least the recording, is coming to an end. Thank you if you've actually watched this. I wouldn't watch this, but it's fun for me to create content. I don't want to be famous. I don't want anybody to really know me outside of my close group of family and friends.
Uh-huh.
But I do appreciate people thinking that I'm at least somewhat entertaining. I'm worth listening to. And okay, what do I say? Oh, I gotta come up with a log out, a log in, a log out phrase, like some sort of, it's, if the video is on in the corner, you know who it is. If you've made it this far, you can leave a comment. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Whatever. I don't care about that. Leave a comment. Tell me some cool, intro and some cool outro. Something that would identify me and my content. 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 1.